Lawn care can be a little bit crazy, and part of the crazy part is not the grass, but it's the people. This week I had 3 different stories I want to share with you about my interactions with people in the lawn care business. Today's video is sponsored by Yardbook. I've been using Yardbook to run my lawn care business since 2015. If you need a software to manage your lawn care business, go to yardbook.com and sign up for a free account. So what happened this week? Well, let's start with the one that happened to me yesterday. Yesterday, I get 2 calls for quotes. I think they came in from my website. And the one lady calls me, her name is Cheryl. And I won't reveal her last name, but Cheryl calls and says, hey, I was out working at the time. I was out trying to put fertilizer out. It came a big storm. I was trying to get the fertilizer down before the rain came. So I'm busy. So she calls. I say, Cheryl, can you do me a favor? Can you just text me your name and address, and I'll come by and look at the yard and get you a quote. So she calls, she's very friendly, and texts me name and address. It's not too far from my house. It's in a neighborhood that I've actually had several calls from. I've just been telling people, no, I don't go to that neighborhood, but it's actually very convenient for me. I don't know why I haven't taken on. There is some hills, but anyway, I said, I guess I should probably start taking customers in that neighborhood. So I said, yeah, let's do it. Okay, I'll come by and look at it. So I get my yards done, go look at Cheryl's yard. Actually, I went on the Yardbook and I measured it out with the lot measurement tool on there, and then it started raining. So I said, well, I at least want to look at it and make sure it's not on the side of a mountain or just something nasty about this yard. So I pull a look at it, it's fine. Okay, she told me she basically has no backyard, just the front yard, small yard. I go look at it, I just drive by. I already had the measurement, and I said, it looks fine. So I get home, went and looked at the other yard too. And I call her, I say, hey, here's the price, and I take credit card on file or prepayment of the year with a 5% discount. She said, that's fine, we'll do a card on file. I said, okay, great, I'll put you in the system, name, address, email, and everything, and I'll send you the card on file link. Everything's good to go. Well, a couple hours go by, and maybe I had a busy day and was thinking a lot of things. So a couple hours go by, and I start thinking, I was like, this name just sounds familiar, you know, it just sounds real familiar. And so what I do is I actually go into Yardbook, and they have your customers in there. They have the active customers and the inactive customers. So I switch it over to inactive customers, and I look back at this customer, and I'm able to find her name in there. And I thought I recognized that name. So when I found her name in there, I thought, this is exactly who I thought it was, because I saw the address, and the address that I saw was one that I drive by our house regularly, and it's a customer that, best my memory serves me, that did not pay me the last bill, or it took forever to get paid or something. Anyway, ended up, and my understanding is I didn't get paid from her, and it was very frustrating to me. So I call her back. I said, hey, Cheryl, did you used to live in such and such neighborhood? And she said, yes, I did. I did live in such and such neighborhood. And I said, yeah, I actually remember I used to take care of your house when you lived in that neighborhood. And I said, I didn't get paid on that last treatment. And I said, I don't believe I'm going to be able to move forward with doing your lawn. And she said, oh, that wasn't me. She said, the landlord was the one that did the lawn care back then. So that wasn't me. But she said, that's fine. And then she hung up, which was fine with me. I wasn't going to do it. I mean, I said, fool me once, shame on me, or whatever, however it goes. Shame on you, shame on whatever. You know what I'm saying. Point being is Cheryl, and the software showed it was in 2015. So at the time of this video, it had been almost 9 years. Now, I don't know if that says something about my memory, good, bad. I probably should let things go a little faster. Would help me sleep better at night. But I also drive by her house regularly, the house that she lived in, to go do other customers' jobs. When I drive by, I see it, and I'm reminded, oh, that's the lady that never paid her bill. And so it just so happened that she called, and I'm very thankful that I was able to remember. Now, you might say, Jason, weren't you going to get a card on file? Yeah, I was, but sometimes you go to charge the card on file and it says insufficient funds, and I guess I'd had to charge it ahead of the time or whatever. But point being, I don't want to mess with a customer like that. Somebody that didn't pay their bill 9 years ago, and then when I asked her about it, she didn't take any responsibility. I was like, that's not what I remember, because I had several times where you did pay. It's under your name, wasn't under some landlord's name, and then now all of a sudden I didn't get paid and you want to hire me back. So anyway, I'm moving on. That was story number 1. Story number 2, I again, had a real busy week. So I get a call from a landline. Now, most of the time the people call from a landline are older people, and this guy, I could hear it in his voice, older gentleman. He calls and he says, hey, I'd like to get a quote for weed control and fertilization. Same situation. I was real busy. I said, yes, I would love to do it. Let me, if you would, let me take down your name and address. He was on a landline, so there's no texting in that situation. So let me take down your name and address, and I'll come by and look at it later this afternoon. Well, it just so happens I went home for lunch that day, get on Yard Book, trace out the yard with the lot measurement tool, 17,000 square feet on this. That's pretty big for my area. And I think, wow, this is a big yard, bigger than I like, but it's in a good neighborhood and not a lot of trees or everything. I'm like, this is just a big old, big lot. I can use a Z-spray right around this. This could be a good thing. Well, I called him back and I said, actually, this was in the first conversation. I said, why did you switch from did you have a lawn care provider before? Yes. Why did you switch? He said, well, it just gotten too expensive. Now, I know lawn care companies have gone up. I said, okay. So, in my mind now, I'm instantly triggered. This guy's a price shopper, older gentleman, maybe on a fixed income. I don't know all the details. Wait. So I measure 17,000 and I'm thinking I got a busy day. I said, you know what? I got the measurement. I'm just going to call him because I got a feeling he's a price shopper and I got a feeling my price is going to be too high. I don't want to drive out there to just be rejected. So I call him. I said, hey, I talked to you earlier and was going to come out there and look at it. I said, I was able to measure your lawn on the computer. I've got the square footage here and I've got the price. And my price for 17,000 square feet would be $135 per application. I do 7 applications per year. Some of you may hear that, think that's high. Some may think that's low. That would be my price, $135. I would have happily done it for that. Well, as soon as those words came out of my mouth, he said, oh, that's way too high. That's way too much or whatever, which is fine. I'm not mad at him. He was very friendly to me. I was friendly to him. But what I did was save myself a trip driving over to his house, measuring his yard, talking to him about his yard, and then giving him the price that was way too high. And I said, well, do you mind telling me who you used to use for your lawn care? And he told me the name of a big competitor down the road. And I said, okay. I said, do you mind telling me what they were charging? And this seemed like this was the raised price after they'd gone up on him. He said $90. I said, $90. $90 on a 17,000 square foot yard. That's barely over $5 per 1,000 square feet on that yard. I got a feeling with them running employees and all the overhead they have, they might actually be losing money on that yard. So I told him, I said, $90 is a pretty good deal. And I gave him a couple other competitors that might be cheap. I said, but no, that's a pretty good deal. You might want to call them back and see if they'll take you back. Because anyway, so the point being, I am 50% higher than $135. That's 50% more than what he thought was a high price. And I was just thinking, what the difference in me now versus me in the past. Me now, I think, this guy might be a tire kicker. Let me give him a price over the phone, save myself a trip out there. Versus me in the past, drives out there, waste time. So I guess I'm just getting a little bit smarter, being able to ask a few questions at the beginning to weed some people out. And I was able to give him a price and it was fine, but I saved myself a lot of time that would have been used going out there. And the last story was one that happened to me on Monday. And this is the time of year, I'm filming this in March, and the phone starts to ring. So Monday, I got 4 different quote requests that came in, which was great. That's most I've had in a while. That shows me a couple of things. One, it shows me my website is still ranking well on Google. I feel like pretty confident that all these people are finding me online, which is a great thing. But here's the difference, and here's just to give you a little bit of insight of what I'm doing. When I got the call, one of them was about 30 minutes away, but in an area I work. 2 of them were out of areas that I don't work. They weren't that far away, but I just don't work in those areas anymore. And then another one was in an area that was very close to where I live and definitely an area that I want. So I'm able to talk to the 2 that I don't want and say, I'm sorry, I no longer work in this area. But I was able to recommend somebody to them. And then on the two that I do want, the one that was like 35 minutes away, I said, you know, I'm a busy day. When I get home, I'll measure it. And he's in a neighborhood, so I'm not too worried about the yard. A neighborhood I'm actually very familiar with. I was able to tell him, I say, yeah, I do your neighbor right down the road. He said, oh yeah, that yard looks great. I said, the one with the red truck parked in the driveway. He said, yeah, I know that yard looks great. So I'm able to tell him that, and I was able to land him over the phone and not have to drive out there 30 minutes to give a quote, and got him, and he was not in a hurry. I said, I'll be out in that neighborhood soon. I can come take care of it. And then the other one, I was able to give a price and landed it. So point being, I was able to get the two I wanted. The two I didn't want, I was able to refer those to somebody else. And I felt like that was great. It didn't interrupt my day. I'm landing the customers, and it showed me that I'm getting those leads off of the internet. So if you want to know how I do that, I work with a company called Footbridge Media. They have an affiliate link for me. You may have heard me talk about it. They do my website and SEO. So sometimes when you get a website, you got to pay somebody several $1,000s, and it doesn't do you a whole lot of good if you're not ranking well on search engines. This is $199 with my link. If you don't use the affiliate link, it's $249. I can put the link in the description, but the other way you can find it, you can go to footbridgemedia.com. You scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, and there's a Lawn Care Life logo. You click on that, and you'll get $199 a month. So there's no upfront thousands of dollars, just $199 a month. They build your website, and they do the SEO. They did my site, Alabama Lawn Pros. I've referred a lot of people to them, and it's not like a guy in his basement building websites. They are a big company. They work with service industries, and they do a lot of websites. I would dare to say probably thousands. Okay, so they know what they're doing, been very professional. So if you need a website and you're gonna be in lawn business for a long time, I would recommend Footbridge Media, and the link will be in the description, or go to Footbridge Media, scroll to the bottom of the page. This was my week on top of getting a lot of yards done. I'm out throwing out fertilizer and getting excited for the spring. Grass is turning green here. Weather's warming up. So hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for watching. Also, a lot of you heard that we did the 2024 Lawn Care Life Conference. That was a big success, and we are making plans for the 2025 conference and how to improve over last year, even though it was a massive success. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.